I told y'all on my last video that my hair was going to be different when I came back. So I did get my hair done. Shout out to Jamie. But anyway, let's go ahead and catch up on part 3. Let's go ahead and get into part 3. If you are just now watching this video, you need to go back and watch part 1 and part 2 of how I am sharing my story, how I've been working at a home builder for the past 9 years, and I am now going into a different direction. Well, I ended with saying that I had told the VP to hush, y'all. I vividly remember, one, how embarrassed I was, and second, y'all, I was the only Black employee at this company. And I'm like, girl, you don't know these people to be telling them children to be quiet. So I'm still trying to get very, very comfortable. One thing I do appreciate about working at this company, they never wanted me to feel awkward because I was the only Black employee there. But also, too, it was just like a sense of humor or a laugh that we got out of this story every time we told it. So time went on a little bit further. I ended up being presented with the opportunity to be hired as a permits coordinator. And if you don't know anything about permits coordinator, so basically, I work in new home construction. When you come to buy a house from a new home construction builder, you actually pick out your selections, you go to the design center, you pick your cabinets, this, and that. I worked in an apartment that once you pick your selections, they bring the plans and all the selections and everything to me, and I have to circle the structural options. I have to do all that. I have to make sure the selection sheet is right. I have to make sure the application for the permits is correct. And what I would do is I would take all that documentation to the municipalities and apply for the permit so that we can begin construction of your house. And y'all, when I say I love this job, I probably worked this job for about a couple years. I got paid so much money. In some construction companies, they call this job like a renter, but you work very close with the land department and you also work very close with the purchasing department as well. So I was an hourly employee. And then on top of that, I was also getting paid on my mileage. And I got invited to company trips and all this kind of stuff. When I say I thought I was the richest person there could have been in my family, you couldn't tell me I wasn't making a bunch of money. I enjoyed it because I didn't have any issues at all. I already knew how to look at floor plans. I already knew how to select options. I already knew how to get all the paperwork. I already had a well-oiled flow going. It was a very, very fun job. Now, even in the midst of you doing great things in your role, you're always going to have somebody that you work with that maybe a little bit. So the girl that I was working with at the time, she was very much a gossipy type of person. And if you know anything about me, if you ever work with me, I am not that type of, I don't care what you got going on. Me and you ain't got the same thing. I'm here to work and that's it. So they ended up started calling me the headphone girl because they wanted to know, well, Candace wear her headphones when she got her headphones in. She is doing her work. She's getting everything done. They thought I was wearing headphones because I was using it as a productivity. I wore those headphones because all this girl do is talk and gossip all day. I don't want to hear that all day. And as you grow and develop a little bit more in your role, it becomes the same thing over and over. Now, here comes a division president at the time, which we had another division president at this time. And he was like, do you want to work in the sales and marketing coordinator? I'm like, you mean a job that I was supposed to be hired 2-3 years ago? Sure. I guess better late than never. When I got into this role, I think I worked for the worst manager that I ever have worked for in my entire life. I ended the video talking about how I believe I ended up working for the worst manager at the time. I don't know if they were setting me up or what. I think, honestly, they didn't even know that this man was this bad. Mind you now, I done been there probably 3.5 years at this point. I started as a front desk receptionist. I was originally supposed to be hired as a marketing coordinator. I have my degree in marketing and management. I understand marketing very, very well. So I worked as a front desk receptionist. Now I done did the permitting role and all that role. They done pushed me out that role so that they can hire somebody else that I had to train. And now I am a brand new sales and marketing coordinator for this company. If you know anything about marketing, one thing I will say, construction marketing and website marketing is completely, totally different thing. Marketing for me and my job had to deal with, one, the website, the flyers, the realtor events, the realtor outings, working with the flags, working with the open houses, everything that I had to do that dealt with marketing for this builder, I was responsible. I mean, even setting up the model home, even working with the designers to get the model home set up, even when we started new communities, doing new community rollouts, doing a marketing drip campaign, getting everybody excited about this new community, planning events. It was just a whole lot. So now I'm this my neck of the woods. I know a little bit about marketing at this point. And when I started this role, I was just learning from another division at the time because we did not have a sales manager. So I was going off of what their brand standard was and how we do certain things within the company and how they did it in their division. I just implemented that in Charleston. So then there's this brand new man that all of a sudden walks in the office and he's like, hi, my name is so and so, and I cannot say this man's name. And he's like, I am your new sales manager. I'm like, oh hey, da da da. He has a really strong New York accent. If you know anything about anybody from New York, yeah. But you would think people from New York in a professional setting would be different. And maybe he just wasn't one of the ones. When I say this man was not one of the ones, y'all, I have never in my life worked with a person that cussed so much as this man did. And I don't mean like when something upsets you, you mean you accidentally say a curse word. It wasn't like that. It was like he was blatantly in every single word that he said he would curse. And he would yell. He was extremely loud. So we share an office. So he is yelling and screaming about sales not being done and this not being done and this is stupid and this is that. And it got to the point that like I was so glad I became the headphone girl, because if it was not for those headphones, I probably would have lost my sanity in that office. Like, I remember one of our VP managers at the time, because his energy was so negative, he walked up to me. He was like, I'm talking about another manager. He walked up to me. He was like, are you okay? I'm like, I don't think I'm doing too well working with this man. Like, did y'all purposely put me in the worst role ever? Because how am I starting a brand new role? I don't know what I'm doing, okay? I know regular marketing, right? I can barely get a grasp of this job. We barely have a sales manager. But the sales manager y'all give me is the most negative person I've ever met in my entire life. How can I do my job? Like, he's like, hey, you think I'm okay? I'm not okay. Like, I'm losing it at this point. And if y'all don't figure this out, I'm out. I can't do this anymore. And lo and behold, that man was gone probably within a couple months, because when I say the builder that I work for has integrity, they're positive, like, there's not a negative ounce that I have seen by working with this builder. So for this man to be in there that exemplified negative energy was like, this man do not belong here. And once he left, the energy of the company was actually saved. We were actually able to get back on track. I was actually able to do the job that I was supposed to do. And we ended up hiring a brand new sales manager that has been at the company for the next like 5-6 years at this point. And as time go by, because I think I was in this role for about another 2 years, and we started building a relationship. And she would ask me often, what did I do like on the weekend, blah, blah, blah. So, you come back, you catch up on your day. And I was like, oh no, not sharing too much because you can't tell everybody your business at the office. But at this time, I was running my candle business. And if anybody know anything about my business, Abundant Life Restore, I do interior design, but I also been trying to launch my home decor line with candles forever. And this was me still getting side money, because at this time I was not salaried. Like, I was not making this whole bunch of money. I still needed to make some type of money. So during my spare time on the weekend, I would make candles, and it was like Valentine's weekend actually. And what I did was I actually went to like different businesses, even the ones that sold candles. I took my candle in there and tried to offer them to like get my candle shelved in their shop. And she's like, why would you come into a candle shop? I'm like, because girl, just as much as you selling, I'm trying to sell too. Of course they didn't take my deal, but I'm like, I'm trying to get this money. I had 50 candles in the back of my Chevy Cruze at the time, and it needed to get sold. So at that time, I changed my whole perspective. I was like, you know what? Let me go to a car dealership, because my uncle worked at a car dealership. So I was like, let me stop by there off of Savannah Highway in West Ashley, and let me see if any of these guys want to buy the candles for their wife. Lo and behold, I kid you not, I went to the Rick Hendrick, the Chevy at the time, and I went across the street. I can't even remember what the other one was, but y'all, all the candles was gone. So I'm telling the sales manager about my weekend, like, yeah, this weekend I had about 50 candles or so. I needed to get it sold. I got it done. And if you know anything about a sales manager, she was like, so you didn't let anything stop you from getting those sales done. So you got those sales done. You sold all your candles. Yeah, Candace, I don't think that you need to be in the marketing role. I think you need to be on the sales floor. And this is how I was promoted into a brand new sales agent, which is also a realtor for a new home construction builder.